The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, hello. Welcome to AppStack. We are so excited to have everyone. We're going to wait a couple more minutes. We have started early, so just give it a few minutes and we'll get going with this awesome program. All right, we're going to wait about 1 or 2 more minutes before we get started. Thank you for holding on.
Okay, Marissa, I think we are ready.
Wonderful. So welcome all to the AppStack webinar. I'm Marissa Cranes, and as you heard, we've got Geraldine Gray with us, and she's going to be leading an awesome webinar talking about some amazing things that are happening with AppExchange, with AppStacks, and we are going to be fielding questions afterwards. So please write any questions, comments about specific stacks, anything along those lines for one of our speakers in the chat in this GoToWebinar. And with that, I'm going to throw it over to Geraldine.
Hello, everyone. This is Geraldine Gray. I'm a Salesforce MVP, and I'm here today to talk to some fantastic panelists that we have, Melissa Hill-Dees and Harshala. We're going to be talking about apps. I think we're going to cover about 30 apps in less than 30 minutes, and we can't wait to have you along. So let's talk about what is all in the stack, or what is the stack. This is an opportunity for you as a customer or a partner or an IC partner to share how you use the AppExchange app to improve your business processes. We would love to see what you're making yourselves, so please go ahead, go to the allinthestack.com, build your own stack, submit it, and maybe we'll get to see you on one of these future webinars. Okay, our first opening call with our first app, because we have so many to come in today, is Chargent. 3 things you want to know about Chargent, because this is full of learning. It is a payment processing tool that works directly in Salesforce. You can charge, authorize, void, and refund your payments and transactions in real time. You can even send payment requests via a link to your customers, and most importantly, everything comes back into Salesforce. So that's my first app of the day. My next app of the day is a whole series of apps. So let's start with welcoming Melissa Hill-Dees. Hi, Melissa.
Hi, Geraldine.
Hey, and Harshala Savala.
Hi, Geraldine. Hello, everyone.
Hey. Hi, guys. Melissa, why don't you just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we're going to launch into your app.
Sure. Hi, everyone. So happy to be here today and talk with you just briefly. I have a background in Salesforce for about the last 10 years, and just recently in the past year, got 2 certifications and really dove into Trailhead. But Hands-On Connect is who I work with and for. I'm the Vice President of Marketing and Sales, and Hands-On Connect is actually on AppExchange. So we are an ISV partner as well.
Yay. And Harshala? Tell us, how long have you been working with Salesforce, and what do you do in your current role?
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Harshala. I'm working since last 8 years with Salesforce and currently working with Eternal Solutions as a senior technical lead cum consultant. I work on multiple projects where my job is to gather requirement from the customer and provide them a sustainable, scalable, and robust solution. And in this journey, AppExchange helped me a lot to make a readily available solution with no or minimal cost, so that my team doesn't need to reinvent the wheel. So that's about me.
Perfect. Okay, so today we have 2 very exciting speakers from 2 very different sides of Salesforce. Melissa is going to be talking to us about the salesperson's experience, and Harshala is going to be talking to us about the admin or the consultant experience. Both of their app stacks feature tons of useful, helpful apps that they work with from the AppExchange, and they really help them do their jobs better. I want to, before we launch with Melissa's stack, I'll give you a sneak peek, a very special shout out to the Springfield, Missouri user group. Okay, I wish I could send you balloons and cupcakes, but here's my virtual balloons and cupcakes. Thank you guys for joining us and for having our first ever AppExchange app stack viewing party. We were just thrilled. So, Melissa, tell me about your stack. I'm especially interested in how you're using Conga and DocuSign.
Sure. Thank you so much. It's kind of exciting to be the very first, because then there's no act to follow, right? so Conga is something that I use daily from a sales standpoint, because even though Hands-On Connect is an app on the AppExchange, there are so many other parts and pieces that nonprofits in general need to really fully leverage everything in Salesforce. So just about every proposal that I do for a potential customer is a little bit different than the last one. And so Conga helps me create those quickly and professionally and fluidly and send those back out to customers so that they understand exactly what I'm proposing, what I'm offering for them to be able to do their job. Obviously, once we create that proposal and the customer is like, yes, let's do this, and create an agreement, then DocuSign makes it very simple to send to the customer and let them sign off on that agreement, and comes right back into Salesforce and triggers me to be able to close that deal. It's won, and set off TaskRay to start actually implementing the product.
Okay, so you have Conga, which helps you write your proposals and organize your pricing, which is merged from data in Salesforce, and you can have different flavors of the different types of proposals that you're sending out to customers. So if they're new or if they're an existing customer, they have a different type of proposal that gets sent, right?
Exactly.
Okay, then you layer on, this is like a Salesforce Sunday. Okay, so then you layer on DocuSign. So when your deal is marked as closed won, it automatically sends the contract out to the customer in DocuSign.
That's right. And then they can sign it and send it back.
They sign it, send it back, updates in Salesforce. Then you layer on your next piece, which is TaskRay. And so what happens with TaskRay? It kicks off to the implementation team and they start working for your customers.
That's exactly right. So all the moving pieces and parts of any implementation come together in the TaskRay projects, and TaskRay has several outlines set up depending on the products that the customers purchased, and tracks and prompts our team and the different members on our team to actually get that work done and implement the system for our customer.
Sweet. And then I know you have an app that isn't even an app on here. Tell us one of the brand new features that you're using in Salesforce to help do your job better.
And my very favorite, of course, I'm a huge fan of Einstein. And so I understand that Einstein runs that news forecast that we have that runs across, in Lightning at least, the screen, and tells me all the wonderful things that are going on in the news that are related to customers or potential customers that I may be working with. So I check that on a regular basis simply to be able to reach out to customers. It's a great touch point rather than that, that email you're like, I just wanted to check in with you, which is so lame. But this actually gives you something. Oh, I see you got a brand new, executive director at your organization. Is that an exciting thing that's happening, or are you excited to meet her? So that ongoing news feed that's directly related to the accounts that I'm working with currently is just priceless.
It's a little bit creepy how clever it gets, right?
It is. But I love it.
It's kind of like you think, Salesforce stalking me. So we had to go live last week. The very afternoon that we went live, it was already surfacing information that our customers were interested in on their data in their Salesforce org. They were amazed. They couldn't believe it.
Exactly. And I was working with a potential customer in Australia 2 days ago, and the next day, all these articles showed up, and one in particular that gave me a little bit of pause because it was not a very happy article, but almost a good way to kind of assess your customers and help you understand who they are as well. And so, Geraldine, I don't know if you're still there. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Yep. Now I can.
Nothing.
So,
okay. Nothing says live webinar like getting kicked out of the program, right?
Exactly.
So I have no idea what interesting insights you had, but I'm really hoping you were spending more than 100% on Einstein and just giving it out there on the fly. Okay, thank you, Melissa. I'm going to move along to the next app that we want to give a shout out to. While we're talking to Harshala and Melissa, please think about if you could have any app that was free or paid from the AppExchange, what would that be? I'll come back to you right at the end.
Okay.
Okay. Perfect, thank you. So I'm just going to tee up for Harshala, and for 1 minute, let me tell you about our next app that we want to give a shout out to today, which is Engagio. 3 things you want to know about Engagio, except for the super sexy Italian sounding name. It is an account-based marketing platform that allows you to present the right data to your users from multiple systems and across multiple objects. It allows you to measure your account-based marketing efforts with the impact and the engagement, and then actually relate it to revenue, which is something that marketing teams have a really hard time to do with Salesforce, right? It's hard to get those connections, but Engagio does it for you. And I think most importantly, it takes you back to knowing your customers, so you can understand who are your true high-value accounts, and then you can act on that to bring more of them into the fold. So that is a quick shout out to Engagio. And next up, we have Harshala. Harshala, if I get the phone demons and they kick me out, carry on talking. But Harshala, so remind us, you are currently working as a technical lead and consultant. What does your job entail on a day-to-day basis? And then let's talk about your stack.
Yeah, my job is to gather requirement from the customers. So basically, I interact with many customers. I work upon multiple projects. So different customer has a different requirement. Like some have configuration, some have customization, and some want something out of the box. So that's what I would like. I suggest them what is right for them and what will be helpful to increase their revenue.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now you have a really, really interesting stack because your job is varied and you have a lot of hats that you have to wear. So what I think people will be especially interested in learning about today is tell us about how you're using the Salesforce Adoption Dashboard and the Test Tracker Professional, because I've heard of the Adoption Dashboard, but I'd never heard of Test Tracker Professional until you talked about it.
Yeah, these two are my favorite, one of my favorite apps, where Salesforce adoption dashboard helps customer to understand which feature, which functionality users are really using it, and if they don't need it, they can revert the access. They can utilize their licenses for further uses. So this is all about adopting your CRM functionality. So that helps a lot to customer to understand which functionality is usable for which user and for which not, so that they can control their accesses. So that's about Salesforce adoption dashboard. That's from the Salesforce lab, and that's a free. That's a great thing about it.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that it's free.
Yeah. My mainly focus is to provide the free app so that any business can afford it. So, so yeah, so that's a free one. Moving to the next, that is Test Tracker Professional. I love this app because what happens is for every software development lifecycle, the testing phase is very important. And unless until the quality analysis is best, your app will not be mostly likable by the customers. So Test Tracker Professional helps QA like quality analyst to take a snapshot of their test cases, the requirements, and when we test on multiple instances, so we don't need to memorize, but we don't need to keep a documentations like which test case we need to run out. We have everything monitored into Test Tracker Professional. They have very intuitive UI, so that is very helpful. So that's about Test Tracker.
And so that helps you relieve a ton of time back into your day, because you can use the tool to help automate some of your testing.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then tell us about your productivity stack. So we've talked about milestones PMs previously, but you've got the Ultra Schema Builder and the Ultra Field History Tracker. How do they help you do your job, or like how do they help you give a better service to your customers?
Yeah, I would like to first talk about Ultra Schema Builder, which this app helps us a lot in designing phase, where when I'm on a call with the customer to jot down the design, like data model, which objects we need, which fields we need. So I usually use Glyphy these diagrams or Lucy chart, or at a time I use Excel. So I jot down all those details. I draw those diagrams on this applications. So if I do that there, I need to provide those to my developers. So developer don't need to start from the scratch to develop objects and the fields. They can directly use Ultra Schema Builder. They can import these files, and the data model is ready in no time.
I have never heard about it. I think this is, yeah, I think it's just a huge time saver for admins as well as for consultants. I can imagine having it work and it's going to make you look like a rock star.
Yeah, it saves time a lot. Like it really a productivity thing.
Brilliant. Okay, and then tell us about field history.
Yeah, Ultra Field History is also a gem. Like Salesforce has limitation about like 20. Salesforce can track 20 fields per object, and this application gives a lot of flexibility to track n number of fields from n number of object. And the best part is it doesn't count the storage. It doesn't count your data storage. It counts against your file storage. So you don't need to worry about your data storage, and you have all the reports. Everything is ready. So that's the best app I would suggest.
Okay, so what's a use case where a customer needs to track extra history?
Yeah, so it's a field history. Like you can track any field on any object. Like if it is an opportunity, you can track statuses, amounts, who has changed the status from which status, and all other fields. That is very important. And those can be more than 20 per object, and where it helps a lot to track those fields.
customer problems.
Yeah, role of helper is also very important for developers. If you use there are relationship available in Salesforce like master detail, lookup. Master detail has already inbuilt roll-up summary fields available, but that's not the case for the lookup. And for that, we might need to go with the customization like triggers or the classes. But with this rollup helper, it's just a configuration. I need to just add a configuration. I need to filter out like on what basis, from which object I need to make a rollup to which object, like child and parent. And I need to just configure those things with some basic filters, and my rollup summary field is already ready with no code.
So there's no code on the rollup summary helper that you need to write because they've written it for you. Then they allow you to put your rollups on objects that may or may not have been directly related.
Right.
Perfect. Okay. Harshala, I'm going to ask you a question slightly off the app stack, but tell me a little bit about how you're working with women in tech groups over in India.
Yeah. So we have large opportunity to say hi to all the women in tech in India, and wish you all women out there Women's Day. And moving to the we're talking about the women's in tech thing. There are large groups. They organize the webinars. They organize the meetup. So, and we learn a lot. We discuss a lot many things. The new, what did we learn? So it is all exciting. They are very very exciting groups out there. Yes, I do.
Yeah. Well, congratulations and thank you so much. It is a passion of mine and it's a passion of Marissa's. To be involved with the Women in Tech program. Marissa actually interviewed me, I think the first year we ever had a Women in Tech show, or maybe it was the second year that we ever had the Women in Tech show. So it was a long time, maybe 8 years ago. It's been around for a while now, so it's growing and growing. Thank you for your attendance.
Yeah, thanks.
So I'm going to jump to our next app, but before I do that, please think about if you can have any app free or paid from the AppExchange in your holiday basket. Just think about what that would be, and then I'll come back to you in a moment with that question.
Sure.
Okay. All right. So the last app that we're going to give a shout out to today is the Time Trade Scheduler. 3 things you're going to want to know about it is that you can stop the back and forth email clutter. Please save this for me. Having this integrated with Salesforce will stop all of that. It allows you to move your leads and your prospects faster through the sales funnel because you're not having all that back and forth, which can be very irritating to customers. And it can be used by all the different teams across your Salesforce platform. So it's not just a sales tool, it can also be used for service and support. So if you're onboarding customers, allow them to set their times. If you're needing to support customers post-implementation, allow them to set a time that suits them and that you have the, I don't know, like 20 apps today, 30 apps today. I'm sure there's a lot more. Reminder that if you have the ability to build a stack and you can put it up with the My Stack Rules hashtag. That's My Stack Rules. And as we wrap up for today, I'm going to go back to Melissa. So Melissa, you've had a chance to think what app would be in your Christmas stocking or your holiday basket? Anything that you wanted?
Mowgli SMS so that I could text everybody.
Mowgli SMS, tell me about that.
Mowgli, a text messaging service that is completely into amazing work with texting. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I text people. I say, don't call me because I talk all day on the phone. So I talk to all my friends, and all my friendly work is texting back and forth and not phone, not email, because I'm just inundated with that. So Mowgli SMS makes that possible via Salesforce, and with all.
And does it allow you to record the messages that are being sent back and forth on an account or an opportunity or a contact? How does that work?
Exactly, it does. And so just like you can save, email messages, you have the text messages that are saved as well, and even some predictive response there, so that if you text back this answer, then it replies in a specific way. So it can be even text messages for inquiries.
I love it. You are
Yep.
artificial intelligence queen today.
I love that. I need something that's smarter than I am.
Well, I love when we were talking the other day, you said everybody seems to have it all together except for me. I was like, no, and me too. But I think I'd like to have some predictive text messaging to go right alongside my Einstein messages or my Einstein newsreel. That would be really helpful. Okay, Harshala, you've had time to think, slightly less than. You've had some time to think. If you could have any app free or paid, what would you have in your holiday basket?
Yeah, it would be a metadata glimpser. That is auto-odd metadata viewer, like as a bus actually. Deployment very easy. So let's say take an example of sandbox and production. I need to, before deploying any component to production, I would like to check if box version. This metadata glimpser helps me a lot. Like it compares the compares one component against two environment at the one place. So I can do it through the Salesforce instance, which I'm working with.
Okay, somebody has asked, how do you spell that?
It's metadata, and the next is glimpser. It's glimp and glimpser. Glimpser.
Metadata glimpser. Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, I have not heard of that, but I think it would save me having to trawl through the audit log right before I have a go live. It'd be very handy. And making sure that I've got all of my deployment artifacts lined up correctly before I go and put together my change set. So, okay, metadata glimpser. Right, we're going to be hunting that out, and we'll put it in. We'll tweet it out this afternoon with a link to that on the AppExchange. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. Melissa, any final comments? Any questions? What do you think?
Well, I was excited to hear Harshala talk about this program that comes up, the conference in July. So I would be remiss if I did not put in a plug there for Witness Success July in Denver this year. I know that they are now.
And I heard that all the early bird tickets were almost sold out. Is that right?
Yes, yes. And I'm afraid that the conference is going to sell out entirely very quickly.
It wouldn't surprise me. That's what they did last year. So yeah,
and it was fabulous last year.
Perfect. Okay, so a reminder, please go to allinstack.com and build your stack. I expect to see lots this afternoon so that we can be scheduling you guys out for a future session with us. We'd love to have you. And then I also expect to see lots of activity from the Women in Tech across Salesforce engaging with us in this program. We would love to have more of you on board. We've got 3 more webinars coming up. We do them on the first Wednesday of every month. Go ahead.
So I actually have a question that is a personal. I don't get to talk to you enough, Geraldine. It's hard. But you are so involved in so many things having to do with Salesforce with your job. How has being so present both with women in tech and things like this webinar really helped your career?
I didn't hear the last question. I heard the how has being so present
in like working with like the women in tech, as well as working on things like this that are not necessarily part of your day job. How have they helped your career?
I think that is a really easy answer. So 90% of our business is referral based. All of our customers come to us. So over the last 10, 15, 100 years, I guess, I've built up my career around the Salesforce platform and then around consulting. And most of our customers come to us, they've heard of us, especially when I used to work at ApFrontier, and they've seen me speak at events or they've seen the exposure. That's one way that has definitely helped build the career and build the business. And then the other thing is that when I am stuck, the people that I go to are the absolute 1% of the brainiacs on the planet. And my confidence in the platform has grown, and my confidence in myself has grown as I've been engaged with those really, really smart people. So folks that would intimidate me, like Matt Lamb or Jeff Douglas or Kevin Pullman, these are the guys when I get stuck. They're the ones that I go to. So, and the girls too. It's not just the guys, but the other girls too. So I would say that a combination of just having confidence in myself and then knowing my stuff has really helped me grow my career with Salesforce. But I can't top Shewale Feldman. The best thing she ever built on the Salesforce platform was her career. I don't think I'll ever be able to top that quote. Yeah. And then every day I go to work, I just try not to mess up too badly, trying to make everybody happy.
Awesome. Well, it looks like our half an hour is done right now. Thank you all for doing this. Any final thoughts, questions that you all want to put out there before we sign off?
Just want to say thank you to Geraldine. She made it incredibly easy to be the first.
You're very welcome. I'm delighted to have you. And we'll be seeing everybody at the next Women in Tech user group. Go on to the community and find out where your local one is. This is the first an all-women session, so it's super exciting. Thank you, ladies.
Yeah, thank you, Geraldine. Thank you, Marissa. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you all.
And we'll be, thank you, chat, girls. And we'll be disseminating the recording of this session shortly afterwards.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Cheers.